Hey, what's up, y'all? We're stepping into the box for this episode of Quick Pitch, and today we're talking about the Northwoods League bringing on a summer collegiate softball league.
Yeah, that's right. For the first year, summer ball in the Northwoods League will also include college softball. For the last, I don't know, since 1994. I'm not going to try to do math because,
There's almost 30 years.
yeah, but yeah. I mean, by the time the season rolls around, it will be exactly 30 years, right?
Yes.
Hey, we did some math. All right. Yeah, so Northwoods League has been around for almost 30 years. It'd be 30 years by the time season rolls around the summer. And it's been a mainstay in collegiate summer baseball for 30 years. Right. MLB scouts have flocked to the Northwoods League to scout out talent. And there's been well over 300 young men be drafted by MLB scouts. So for the Northwoods League to pick up softball and start expanding into the softball community, that's huge.
Yeah, I think the coolest part of it to me is the fact that for obviously for a long time, once you turned 18 for softball, like that was maybe you could slide in as a 19-year-old playing summer ball, playing club ball. But other than that, like you just took those 2 months, 2.5 months, however long it was, and you were out there on your own. Like you didn't get to go play with other people and play an organized game. Instead, you just had to do
Right.
weights and practice on your own. And this makes a big difference.
Oh yeah. Definitely getting the opportunity to get more reps over the summer is infinitely beneficial to the athlete.
Yeah.
And if any of our listeners have ever coached and have been able to coach at both ends of this talent spectrum, you you understand that the end of the talent spectrum where there's little talent, there's also very little summer ball, fall ball being played outside of your spring season. So, I mean, you're talking about hundreds, if not thousands, of extra reps and game reps, right? You're talking about just hours upon hours that will never get made up because you can't make up for lost time. Right. So I mean, with the opportunity for these college athletes, these girls to go play in a competitive league over the summer is just it's oh what is it's invaluable, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a word.
Yeah, there you go. It's invaluable. It's priceless. Priceless was the word I was looking
Okay.
for because I had the MasterCard commercials playing in my head
Okay.
from early 2000s, priceless. It was just escaping my mind. But like
Well, and the other
Andy from
factor
the
too, don't say Andy from the office.
yeah, Andy from the office, and he was trying to figure out the Kit Kat, the Kit Kat song. Break me off a
Oh
piece
my
of that
God.
Chrysler car. Yeah, that's what was
Oh,
going on
what
in
a
my head.
good TV show.
Great TV show, but yeah, but so softball coming to the Northwoods League right now. Um, there are three cities who have announced they will be participating in the league. That is La Crosse, Wisconsin, um, Mankato, Minnesota, and I don't know if it's Minute
Minnow.
or Minnow, North Dakota.
I hope it's
Um,
Minnow.
I do too, but I could obviously see it being Minute.
Well, they say spell it how it's pronounced, so could be minute.
It could be. But yeah, those are the three teams that or the three cities
The teams?
who have adopted teams for the softball league.
What I
Um,
find interesting about that is that there's not um a city in the South. Like they're all north.
it's the Northwoods League.
Yeah, but like not like South South, but like closer. You're telling me if you're from Georgia and you want to play in this Northwoods League, you gotta drive all the way 14 hours to Wisconsin?
Yeah, okay, so the Northwoods League it's a northern league, right? It's in the
That's the
northern
whole point.
Midwest.
Yeah, that's why
Right,
it's
right,
the
right.
Northwoods. I get that.
Yes. So, but yeah, that is what's going to happen. It's you're going to live with a host family. If you're an athlete, you would live with a host family and you travel like I mean you would it would be treated just like a
Club
like a
team?
profession like yeah like a professional team, not a club travel team, like a professional team. You would live with this host family, or if you had the money to stay in a hotel, I guess you could stay in a
Never.
hotel, but I don't know any college kids who can do that. Maybe now though with the NIL money that I don't know, maybe
Well, now that could be interesting.
yeah, making $3 million a year as a freaking college freshman, you could
Man,
stay.
this has nothing to do with softball, but I did just see this probably 3 hours ago that Arch Manning in his
I
first
saw that.
year the
Made
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 more
more
money than
money
Brock
than Brock
Purdy
Purdy, and Arch Manning didn't even play a game, and he's a freaking a freshman. Brock Purdy is the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers.
in the
Makes
running
no
for the
sense.
MVP. Like,
Yeah, makes no sense. But yeah, I mean, the girls would stay with the host family, just like the guys in the baseball league do. Uh, they would they would stay with a host family local to the team that they're playing for, and they would it'd be like like minor league baseball almost, where like to go play your games, you hop on a bus, you take a however many hour bus ride, you go play some games. Maybe you probably play a series, so you stay in a hotel, play your 2 3 game series, come back, play another 2 3 game series. They're gonna fit in probably not as many games as baseball would over the summer, especially
yeah.
with this being the first year of the league. But I mean, they're going to play a good number of games over the summer. Way more than they would if they didn't have this league,
You're not
sitting on
wrong.
their butt.
You're not
A
wrong.
lot of a lot of players will probably go home and sit on their butt if they don't play in this league.
Um so yes. So then, okay, so say this league, 'cause it's kind of like a trial and error run, right? This season, kind of like an experiment, seeing how it works out.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that kind of like the Mexican league that we
Yeah,
talked about on the last episode. Um, but I mean, it doesn't have to be, like if other cities were like, "Hey, yeah, let's just go all in with this. Let's jump on board."
yeah,
It could end up being it could just be a first time mainstay. I think that would be really cool if other cities got involved, and you go from a 3 team league right now to I mean, the Mexican league is 6 teams. I'd rather it be like 12 teams,
yeah,
you know? And that way, one, you're putting more product on the field. You're giving more girls opportunities to play. I'm not a financial guru, so I mean, I don't know what the budgetary concerns would be for doing this, but I don't really see a downside.
So
Like
the only oh my gosh. Ooh, the only downside I could see of it is like, say you have somebody who's really, really one of the, I don't know, like one of the top players in one of the higher up D1s or something going out to play the summer league, and they just get this like terrible, not career ending injury, but like an injury that's going to take 8 months to heal. Like that's the only
yeah.
downside I could truly see of this. I mean,
Yeah, I
other than
mean,
that, I see it going pretty well, spreading out eventually. Maybe
yeah, I
making
mean,
it down to like
you have
Missouri.
yeah, no. The Northwoods League
Is that not
stays
the North? I guess
mm,
Missouri's kind of the South. It's in the SEC, so I guess it's
the Northwoods League is like I think for the baseball league, there are parts of Canada,
yeah.
Minnesota, Wisconsin, um, North Dakota, South Dakota.
Would it take like Michigan? Because I mean that's right
Um,
by Minnesota,
may
Wisconsin.
yeah, maybe. I don't know if the baseball league has. I don't think the baseball league has Michigan in it.
Hmm.
I'm
So
not saying that they wouldn't be open to the idea of expanding into Michigan necessarily, but
yeah. So it's
historically
kind
the
of like
North
a. Go ahead.
historically the Northwoods League has
Hit
been
its little
like the
circle.
yeah.
So it's kind of like a Northwoods, but also
The Northwoods League,
Midwest.
yeah, but the Northwoods League is the baseball league home to the hardest freaking hockey states in America.
Well, yeah.
Pretty much. I mean I know Michigan could be included in that as well because Michigan has really good hockey, but yeah, I don't think there's a Michigan team. I could be wrong.
Well, nonetheless, I still think that I could see it going from this three city league,
There's
and
still
I feel
tons
like
of
it's gonna
time.
do well. Yeah.
Yeah, there's still tons of
And
time for other cities to
to jump in.
jump in. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I people are gonna show up to watch these games,
Absolutely.
especially if you have um, a Kiki Malloy go up there, um, Taryn Kern, a Najee Kennedy, like people are gonna show up. Like, I mean, and if Athletes Unlimited or the WPF, if they were to get involved, or WPF, when's professional? Yeah, WPF.
Yes.
I was just making sure.
Acronyms, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, if they got involved and said like they were partnering with the Northwood Softball League, that would draw in some of those bigger names who think like, yeah, I have a shot to go play professional softball after my college career is over.
Yeah.
That would draw those girls in. So I would imagine until that point, maybe you don't see the big names go play in this league.
Yeah.
Um, but maybe you do. I don't know. Yeah, I don't. All I know is it's super exciting because the Northwoods League has been for baseball. It's been a staple for collegiate summer ball, right up there. Not so much. It hadn't been. So the Cape Cod League is like the place where draft prospects go play college summer ball. But the Northwoods League is like right there behind them and has
Yeah.
been for the last 30 years. So,
I think I had a couple college buddies play. I don't know which league it was, but they definitely played up north in the summertime.
yeah,
For sure.
could have been the Northwoods.
It could have been.
Um, but yeah, super exciting. I love to hear it. We've already posted an article about it. If you haven't seen that, haven't checked that out, it's over on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. And we have a X core. And we have a little video about it over on TikTok. But yeah, we go into way more depth here. So check us out.
Yep.
All right, say what you just said.
How cool would it be if the Northwoods League just blossomed so quickly that big time players like Kiki Malloy and Taryn Kern and Najee Kennedy, like the ones you mentioned earlier, just were like, yeah,
Scott,
I'm in.
yeah,
Skylar
Skylar
Wallace,
Wallace.
yeah, yeah, just hops
Yeah,
right on the horse and is like, yeah, I'm going north.
yeah, that would be dope. That would be so cool. And I know, like, I don't know. I'm only speculating, but like, if you're ESPN, how do you not hop on? ESPN's already been streaming Northwoods baseball games. Let me just throw that out there. There's been on ESPN Plus. I know they were on ESPN Plus last year. I think they've been on ESPN Plus the last like 2 or 3 years, right? So with softball coming into the mix, I imagine that if it hasn't already been negotiated, I imagine that it's gonna come up to where ESPN Plus starts streaming Northwood softball games. And like that's a win-win for the league. It's a win-win-win actually for the league, ESPN, and the girls at that
Yeah,
point, right? And then if all three of those things happen, even if two of those three things happen, Athletes Unlimited and the WPF would be they'd be remiss to not get involved at that point or
right.
to at least not send scouts, you know?
Yeah,
Granted, they don't necessarily have to send scouts because they already know who's
who's
a
who?
phenom, and yeah, they already know what's up because everybody in the country who follows softball knows what's up. But like outside of the Olympic games, like this would be another scene where you would see the best in the world play.
Right.
Like the Northwood Softball League has such a such a high ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Like the potential for this league to just do well and provide so many different opportunities for so many different girls, even even you know uh even like students that not girls specifically but male and female students who are like looking to get into sports administration um or broadcasting or analysts,
Journalism,
like
even. Yeah.
yeah, like it would just provide so many different opportunities not only for the student athletes but you know it would provide internships, it would provide um it would provide some seasonal jobs for local kids as far as or local adults, right? Grounds crew
Right.
type stuff. um I mean, I just don't see very many cons to this Northwood softball league. I mean, it's a great time to be a softball fan. It's awesome to see the game growing the way it is. um yeah, I mean, I don't really.
Well, and here's the other thing too, is all it's gonna take is just one or two people that get picked up, not necessarily from the Northwoods League, but that use the Northwoods League as an extra time to develop and to get themselves out there even more. And for one or two people to be picked up by WPF, Athletes Unlimited, things like that, like all it's going to take is one or two of them, and other people are going to be like, okay, well, if that was helping them get in, then I'm gonna follow and go down that path and get myself to get more exposure. You know?
Yeah. So let's take a kid like Sam Gress, right? From Charlotte.
Hmm.
The pitcher from Charlotte. Charlotte, not a household program, right? Not a whole lot of people know about Charlotte outside of maybe understanding that they did pretty well for a mid-major school against Duke last year in regionals, right? Came up short, but they held their own. But definitely not a household name, right? Sam Gress, not going to be a household name across the
Right.
country. Sam Gress goes out to the Northwoods League, plays against really good competition, and just has a Geordie ball like summer where she's just unstoppable. Can't
Lights
can't
out.
hit her. Yeah, can't touch her. How does she not then get picked up by WPF or Athletes Unlimited? Now Charlotte has the opportunity. Obviously, Sam Gress would then have the opportunity to go play professional ball, where she may not have otherwise had that chance. Charlotte now has the opportunity to take Sam Gress and basically make a mural to her saying, "This is our professional athlete," right? And now you have that first foundation of we here at Charlotte make professional athletes.
Right. Now that's an extra recruiting thing. You're
Right.
pulling in extra people and eyes saying, okay, yeah, we've got her coming from here. Why can't you be the next one?
Right. Or say Kayla Beaver from Alabama,
Yeah.
right? Who was with Central Arkansas last year. Say she decided to stay at Central Arkansas and you know, granted she was phenomenal last year and I don't know, any professional scout would be able to see like, oh, this girl's really good, right?
Hmm.
And we should give her a chance. But say for whatever reason that wasn't the case, right? She has a phenomenal year at Central Arkansas, but she's not getting a lot of looks. She goes up to the Northwoods League and plays against girls that are from Oklahoma, from Oklahoma State, from Alabama, from Texas, from uh, from LSU, from Florida State, right? And she's lights out. She's like, I told y'all, I've been doing this since day one. And then she gets picked up. You know what I mean? Like there that's what I mean by like the potential and the ceiling for the Northwood Softball League is so high. Like it just it's just a phenomenal opportunity. And it's
Yeah.
super exciting to see them. I don't even want to say roll the dice to take a gamble on softball because I don't feel like it's a gamble. I
Yeah.
feel
No,
like
it's
I
not.
feel like I feel like it's a sure shot. Like
You're
they're just
it's win-win.
yeah, like across the board. It's a win for everybody. So I'm super excited. I really hope that games start streaming on ESPN Plus over the summer. And speaking of ESPN Plus, ESPN Plus and NJCAA came to an agreement that included the streaming of the JUCO D1 World Series.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yeah. So whereas before you would have to, scour NJCAA network, which we all know is not the greatest platform in the world to try to
Nope.
watch a game on, or try to find it on the school's live stream, which
Oh.
depending on the school is not the best way to watch a game. Um,
Sometimes you get a
yeah, but
silent game through the school streams.
yeah, sometimes you do, or other times you get that solo analyst who's in his like third year of college and is just now getting into his broadcasting classes, and
Yeah. Needed a
it's
little
just
like work study.
yeah. uh, but yeah, I mean, I'd imagine with this agreement, especially with it being a World Series, like ESPN is going to have some some of their analysts on the games, as opposed to just relying on the school's analysts. Like, and I know that there are um, some ESPN Plus streams that do rely on
Hmm.
the school provided analysts. Huh. And oftentimes the school has like analysts that are on staff and they're good. But sometimes with those smaller schools, they're using grad students or undergrad students, and it's not always the best. Um, but with the World Series, like I would imagine that we would have professional analysts in that streaming of those games, and it would just like I think it's going to be great. Um, it shows again, just like the Northwoods Softball League, it shows that this game's growing. It shows that people are willing to invest in the game, and just dubs across the board, baby.
You stopped talking
I,
right when
I
I yawned.
maybe not dubs across the board. I guess I'm just putting Ashley to sleep over here.
No, I was just gonna say that I was you actually took the words right out of my mouth, and that's what I was gonna say was that it's all going with the rise of softball in today's world, and that you have to keep expanding and reaching more and more viewers because there's so much interest within the sport, and adding something like the World Series, though it may seem small, and it's just the D1, the JUCO D1 World Series. Again, that's not to say that if it doesn't do well, that they're not gonna eventually add D2, D3, and then
Right,
eventually add just maybe some games here and there. Like it's not just specifically this is a one-time thing. We're only doing D1 World Series. Like if it takes off, like I feel like it should, just because again the sport's on the rise and still climbing, then I don't see how ESPN could leave out more teams and more opportunities to get more people drawn in.
right. And I
Again,
mean,
win-win.
and if we're being honest, like if we want to talk about the programs that are here in our home state, Mississippi, right? Or as your yeah,
I'm gonna
we'll
say
say
it's
home.
technically Tennessee.
Technically, your home state is Tennessee, but we both currently live in Mississippi. So our home state of Mississippi, there are programs here that aren't JUCO D1s, right? They're JUCO D2s.
Right. Good
But we have
JUCO D2s.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We have some of the best softball programs, some of the best JUCO softball programs specifically in the country.
Yeah.
One of them just finished fourth in the country. Yeah, so number four program in the country here in our home state, Northwest Community College, right? A D2 JUCO. So while it's super exciting that ESPN and the NJCAA have come to that agreement to broadcast the JUCO D1 World Series on ESPN Plus, it's still leaving out some phenomenal softball programs.
Yeah, and one of them even not close to Mississippi and not D2 is a D3 that I know of. Rock Valley up technically in the Midwest, I guess. I guess. Like they are very, very good at softball and do well each year. Have been to the World Series many times. Won the World Series a couple years ago. I don't know how they've done recently. At least recently within like the past 3 years. But like
Where's the
when you
school
have a
at?
Rock Valley,
Yeah.
Illinois,
Hmm.
maybe. Yeah, Midwest ish. I would consider that the North, but I've been told it's Midwest. Um, but yeah, they've done well, and I feel
I
like as
think
a team, go ahead.
you go ahead. Keep finish.
I was just gonna say, I feel like as a team that is consistently doing the same thing each year, making it as far, not necessarily as far as you can make it, but making it into the World Series, which is an accomplishment in itself. Like eventually, hopefully ESPN and the softball world recognize that and just kind of push to expand to go on past D1.
Yeah. Um, Again, it's not. This is nothing to be upset about.
Right. No, not at all.
It's 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 not something that's happened before, right? We've never had an ESPN broadcast of the JUCO World Series. So for that to be happening this year is it's beyond exciting. I can't even really put it into words how exciting
Right.
it is. But
Definitely a step in the right direction.
yeah, for sure. So anything else?
I think we about covered it.
All right, I think that'll do it for this episode of Quick Pitch.